It is 4:30 and this is WKYT This Morning. Lexington police have announced the largest bust of fentanyl in the city's history, and the person busted worked for the city.
We have the latest details on the third night of the Charlotte protests, including a new curfew set by the governor.
And Tayshaun Prince is back in Lexington, helping Special Olympics athletes live out their dreams. That and your weekend forecast on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning, and it's great to have you with us on WKYT. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Andrea Walker. It is Friday.
Say it again.
Friday, everybody. You made it. It is September 23rd.
And the first full day of fall.
That's right.
It arrived yesterday. We're going to enjoy this day. The temperature is going up, though. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We finished off in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees yesterday, and guess what? We're going to do it all over again today and tomorrow. And then we start to see temperatures dive off in toward next week. Temperatures are there in the 60s early this morning, and still that fall kind of look outside, but not a feel. 90 degrees, same old story with our forecast. I'm going to show you when we do have changes. It's going to be next week, but when do they arrive and what's going to arrive with it? I'll have that coming up next.
And we'll see you shortly in the news. It's a big get for the Lexington Police Department. The chief announced the largest fentanyl bust in city history.
Police say they found nearly 100 grams of the drug during a raid at William Dixon's home. Dixon is an employee of the city of Lexington. As WKYT's Garrett Weimer reports, fentanyl laced in heroin is believed to be the cause of a recent spike in overdoses.
U.S. Attorney Kerry Harvey says his office has seen a disturbing trend with the growth of fentanyl on the streets.
And now it's commonplace. It happens every day.
Harvey says police found about 100 grams of the powerful drug at the home of William Dixon. We're told Dixon works for the Division of Water Quality, but has been on paid leave because of an on-the-job injury.
This is an extremely dangerous substance. It is so potent that it's possible to absorb a lethal dose simply by inadvertent skin contact.
Investigators say it's the largest amount of pure fentanyl that Lexington police have seized, and they say it was intended for right here, the streets of Lexington. Harvey says it's an important indictment because of how much of the drug they were able to keep off the streets.
If this quantity of fentanyl had hit our streets, there's certainly a likelihood that there would have been overdoses. There may well have been fatalities.
If convicted, Dixon faces a minimum of 5 years and a maximum of 40 years in federal prison. In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Dixon appeared in court for a hearing yesterday. He'll be arraigned on Monday.
A curfew is now in effect in Charlotte, North Carolina, following a third night of protests in the streets. People are angry over the shooting death of a black man at the hands of police. Kenneth Craig is in Charlotte with the latest.
Hundreds of protesters swarmed Interstate 277 in Charlotte, stopping traffic in a third night of protests over the police shooting of 43-year-old Keith Scott. Some protesters sat down before police in riot gear moved in, spraying tear gas in a scuffle and sending the crowds running to the embankments. Officers lined up to clear the interstate of stragglers who were angry because they didn't feel heard.
Because the people like you that stand on this what I'm patriotic about.
Marches in the city's business district started as soon as the sun set.
We gotta stand up for what we believe in, because we don't stand here, our kids are gonna have to stand here.
The city is under a state of emergency, and for the first time since these protests began, officials ordered a curfew set for midnight.
And we're going to be very proactive going after people who violate the law.
Wednesday's violent protests left businesses damaged and looted, officers and civilians injured. One person was shot in the head and died, but it's not clear who shot him. Police say they are reviewing the tapes as well as the police and dash cam recordings of Scott's shooting. They showed 2 recordings to Scott's family, who later released a statement saying in part, they have more questions than answers, and they could not discern what Scott was holding in his hands, if anything. They also say when he was shot and killed, his hands were by his side, and he was slowly walking backward. The family is calling on police to release the tapes to the public immediately. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Charlotte.
Attorney General Loretta Lynch is also calling for calm. She is sending 4 Department of Justice officials to Charlotte to support local law enforcement. So far, there is no federal investigation.
Charges have been filed against a police officer who shot and killed an unarmed black man in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Prosecutors say Officer Betty Shelby reacted unreasonably when she shot Terrence Crutcher. Shelby is charged with first-degree manslaughter. She told investigators she feared for her life and thought Crutcher was going to kill her. She turned herself into police early this morning and has been booked and released on a $50,000 bond.
There was a heartwarming moment last night as the 4 trailblazers who helped pave the way for the integration of the SEC were honored with a lifetime statue. The family of Greg Page, along with Nate Worthington, Wilbur Hackett, and Houston Hogg, were all in attendance. The statue was revealed in front of them to commemorate the sacrifice for future generations of African-American athletes at UK and in the SEC. Wilbur Hackett hopes it inspires other generations to come.
If these young men, whoever walks through this corridor, whoever walks past that statue, and they see that history, hopefully it can be an inspiration to them. Hopefully it can encourage them to go on and finish their dream, to live their lives, to make the most. Because I had no idea 50 years ago that this was going to happen. So if it can serve as a stepping stone for somebody's success, then I hope that's what happens.
In 1969, Hackett also became the first African-American team captain in any sport in SEC history.
A barroom brawl ended with shots fired and a scare for students at Eastern Kentucky University. It all started early yesterday morning in downtown Richmond. Police say they were clearing a large crowd from the Copper Still when someone fired shots. EKU sent out a safety alert to students, telling them to take cover because the gunfire was near campus. Officers quickly searched the downtown area and made arrests at a home on South Madison Avenue.
Got everything under the control before it got out of hand, so, you know, we had the help of the other 2 agencies with everybody working together as a team. We think we prevented something bad from happening.
Police arrested 3 people, 23-year-old Dante Hill, 21-year-old Tyler Brand, and 21-year-old Anthony Gerald. Police say the men aren't students, but police say witnesses told them the shots were fired at a group of students after the incident at the bar.
New numbers are out about the number of crimes taking place in public schools in Kentucky. The report from the Kentucky Center for School Safety is from the 2014-2015 school year. More than 5,500 students committed more than 6,200 crimes at school. Marijuana possession is the #1 violation. Assaults were up more than 50%. The report says 9th graders committed the most crimes. Attorney General Andy Beshear is celebrating a victory in court. The Democrat sued Republican Governor Matt Bevin over his cuts to higher education. The Kentucky Supreme Court sided with Beshear and ruled the governor does not have the authority to slash college budgets without authority from the legislature.
This governor is all about cutting the red tape, and this case is over. So I'm calling on him to cut that red tape and go ahead and immediately provide these funds to our universities. They desperately need them. They can use them. And in the end, it'll help Kentucky families, whether it's the students or the faculty.
Governor Bevin said he disagreed with the ruling. His office released a statement saying, quote, "The Attorney General clearly does not understand the severity of the pension problem, which became the nation's worst funded plan under the watch of his father's administration." $18 million will now be returned to schools across the state. Well, he's a fan favorite. Tayshaun Prince starred for UK and then starred in the NBA.
He was my favorite when he was there. The past couple of years, he spent his summers helping athletes with their game. Monique Blair has more.
The cream of the crop as far as the top in the country.
Of course, we had to ask former UK basketball great Tayshaun Prince what his thoughts were on the current UK basketball players. But that's not why he was in Lexington Thursday night.
I felt it was, something that was very special and dear to me. So
in the past year, Prince has dedicated his time to working and playing alongside Special Olympics athletes.
I tell people, and just like they told me, you're not going to know how it feels until you go.
And now Prince, who knows what it feels like to have a passion for the game, says he wants to continue to help these athletes live out their passion for the game.
I know they look up to us, but it was a day that we could all just, sit back and let them enjoy the weekend, and we could do, whatever we can to help them and make their experience life-changing, and hopefully that happens.
All the proceeds from this Two for a Cause farm-to-table dinner tonight will go directly to Special Olympic Kentucky athletes. Special Olympics Kentucky provides year-round sports training and competition programs for children and adults with intellectual disabilities.
We're currently serving over 7,800 athletes statewide, and we provide sports training and competition in over 16 sports.
In Lexington,
at the end of the day, it was all about having fun and making sure they have an experience of a lifetime.
Monique Blair, WKYT.
The event raised $10,000 for Special Olympics of Kentucky.
All right, WKYT this morning on your Friday, just getting started. The time now is 4:40.
Still to come, are all of your baby pictures in a photo album or scrapbook? Coming up, one mom's answer to keeping up with your baby books on Moms Every Day.
No surprise here, no changes in the forecast. Not this week, but next week, yeah, we'll get a little taste of fall, and I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Mid-60s out there. We're getting warmer during the mornings and toward the afternoons. I'm meteorologist Micah Harris. Let me get you updated not only on the weather, but the roadways look pretty good. They are very, very calm, as they always are early this morning. London coming in at 64 degrees. Got a big day there in London. You got the World Chicken Festival that kicked off yesterday, going throughout the weekend, and pretty good conditions for that. Let's talk about Friday night football. It's going to be a warm start to the game, right around 80 degrees. That's at 7 p.m. So it just shows you it's going to be warm today, roughly 90 degrees in the forecast. Later on this afternoon, anywhere between 4 and 5 p.m. And then we drop it about 10 degrees before game time. And then once we get toward the finish of the game, 72 degrees, still staying dry. Everybody has a green light for Friday night football. Still pretty warm, but also dry. 90 degrees there on Saturday, and Sunday coming in at 86 degrees. Like I said, that front keeps backing up, so that allows all that warm air to come streaming on in out ahead of that. But here's that front. Comes through, really rolls through Monday night into Tuesday, but I still expect at least a rain chance on Monday. And so here comes the rain sliding on in here. As of right now, it's not a lot of rain. It's more widespread than it is heavy rain, so we're going to be seeing some showers and thunderstorms roll on through. But that front pushes through Monday night into Tuesday. By Wednesday, that much cooler air rushes on in, and on Wednesday we're talking 74 degrees, 75 degrees, and then after that, maybe even roughly 70 degrees there. So we're talking about some really, really cold temperatures next week. 90 degrees today and tomorrow, though, and then you look next week, that's a totally different story. You're talking 20-plus degree swing from Friday and Saturday to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. This is a big shot of cooler air. Upper 60s there for highs on Wednesday and Thursday, and we'll finish off right there in the 40s for overnight lows. So some pretty chilly air on the way. As you can tell, that is a big shot at cooler air. This is that fall feeling sliding on in, and you know, it's fall. You get these festivals going on, some good weather this weekend. Everybody has a green light for those.
From the highest to the lowest, it cuts in half. You have a 90 and a 45.
That's crazy.
In the same few days.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, Micah, thank you very much. 4:46 is our time. For many people, keeping a baby book goes well for child number one. Then it gets more difficult as more kids arrive, right?
Well, in today's Mom's Everyday Minute, we have a solution to that problem.
It happens. We put lots of effort into organizing the firstborn's photos and then run out of time when another baby arrives. Blogger Sarah Jed found a way to get around that by creating a different kind of baby book.
Well, when I was pregnant with my first son, I was a graduate student, and so I spent a lot of time riding the bus from my house to campus. And while I was on these long bus rides, I started in a notebook writing notes to the baby that I was pregnant with. And it was so nice. I ended up writing to him for the whole 9 months. After I found out he was a boy, I could, write more specifically, and it was wonderful. So then I had another baby, and I did the same thing, and then I had another baby, and I did the same thing. And finally, by the fourth baby, the older 3 kids could all write in the book too, and include pictures and notes. And so instead of a scrapbook, I have a journal for each of my 4 kids.
You call it Dear Baby.
Dear Baby, right, because that's how it would start every letter.
Dear Baby. And the youngest one gets the benefit of pictures and letters from brothers and sisters.
Right.
Great keepsake.
For these tips and more, just go to WKYT.com and click on Moms Every Day.
All right, and all the kids get remembered that way.
Yeah, we're both the oldest, so we have good baby books.
Yeah, right, you got it. 4:47 right now. WKYT This Morning live on the air here on your Friday with more news on the way.
Coming up, a road that had been closed for 2 weeks on EKU's campus is back open today. We'll have the details straight ahead on WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT This Morning. We're glad you're with us on your Friday. This sounds good, doesn't it?
It sure does. Put you in a good mood.
Time is 4:50, 10 till 5. 3 people charged in a Clark County murder case have now pleaded guilty in court.
Aaron Staley, Christopher Robinson, and Lamont Wilkerson admitted their roles in the 2014 shooting death of Amber Cottle. She died just 2 days before Christmas after being hit by a stray bullet that went through her apartment ceiling. Robinson pleaded guilty to murder, burglary, and assault. Staley and Wilkinson pleaded to complicity to each of those charges. A fourth person, Lillian Barnett, is also charged in the case. Her trial is set for January. Wednesday, we told you about a state police identifying a woman found murdered in Harlan County nearly 47 years ago. DNA testing confirmed the body found along Little Shepherd Trail in 1969 was Sonia K. Blair Adams. The break in the case happened after state police were contacted by a woman believing the body may belong to her mother.
Well, I hope that they can find who did it, and it's been a long time. If the killer is still out there, who killed her, they've had time to live a whole lifetime.
Stipes was a year old when her mother disappeared. She says she wants to hold a funeral for her mother and give her a proper burial.
Traffic is moving again on a busy road on the EKU campus in Richmond this morning. Lancaster Avenue reopened at 6 o'clock last night. It had been closed since September 9th after a dump truck hit a pedway, causing it to collapse. The road was closed until crews could shore up the pedway. Now, the pedway is still closed to walkers, and they're going to have to reconstruct it all.
Crews are continuing work on the new Summit at Fritz Farm Shopping Center. Officer Don flew over the site yesterday afternoon. Here's a look at that footage. The Summit will be complete with stores, restaurants, and apartments. The Summit was originally set to open this fall, but the opening date has now been pushed back to the spring of next year.
A lot going on there. Also, last night was a beautiful night for a cookout, only this one in Lexington attracted several hundred guests. A popular locally owned business throws a party every fall to thank their customers and employees. Hinkle Denmark is an award-winning landscape business. It's based in Lexington. It started 27 years ago. Their celebration is called Live Flame. Or is it Live Flame?
Could go either way.
Either way. Anyway, it's complete with fire pits and all locally produced food.
Doesn't
Looks like
that
they had
look
a
good?
good party,
Oh,
didn't
my
they?
goodness,
All right.
yes.
They're ready for the weekend now. Coming up next, we'll have a look at some of the stories our news team is working on for you this morning.
And we'll also take a look at your forecast. The weekend is upon us. Coming up.
Good morning. Welcome back in WKYT This Morning, live on the air on your Friday at 4:56.
It's a good time to take a look at some of the stories we are working on for you this morning.
We have our team out the door. One of the suspects in the 2 Hibbett Sports armed robberies is heading to court today for the first time. We'll have a live report detailing the crimes he's accused of.
And there is a crash on North Broadway where a car split a telephone pole. Police say that the road will be shut down for hours. We'll have more details coming up at the top of the hour on WKYT.
I was saying this could affect morning rush. It could go on through
Yes.
those hours. So
Big headaches.
We'll stay on top of that. And we have some more, let's call it hot weather, really. When you're into fall and you're hitting 90 degrees, Micah,
what else do you call it?
It's a little odd.
Yeah, it is a little odd. I mean, that's about 15 degrees above average. You can call it hot. Why not? 64 degrees right now in Lexington. We get into your afternoon, and yes, we're going to be roughly 90 degrees once again for today. And so there's no change in the forecast. So we're going to be seeing some pretty steamy conditions today and tomorrow. Up towards your Sunday, we're mid-80s, but that's still well above average. But as you can see, it's going to be pretty dry today, and that goes off for Friday Night Football. It goes off for you heading out to the ball fields or going out to eat later on this evening. Now, what we're going to be focusing in on WKYT News at 5 and 6 for your weather forecast next week, because next week we have a big blasting cold front. It's going to bring us big changes. I'll show you that coming up. If you're about to take off, have a great morning. If not, stick with us. We have more to come.